This woman was rushed to the hospital, but when she got there, the doctors and nurses around her suddenly experienced painful things. Only 45 minutes after her arrival, Gloria Ramirez was pronounced dead, and alongside her, 23 people fell really ill and 5 got hospitalized. And let me just tell you that almost all the people who were hospitalized and fell ill were the doctors and nurses who were helping Gloria. Why was just a few moments of exposure to this woman enough to send the hospital staff into paralysis and bouts of vomiting? And more importantly, what caused this very mysterious incident? A 1 in a billion case? Government stuff? Human experimentation, perhaps? Night fam, I'm going to tell you one of the strangest mysteries on the internet. The medical case of the toxic lady. When Gloria Ramirez was rushed to the hospital due to heart complication, once she was inside and surrounded by doctors, nobody could even guess how the next hour would play out. See, when Gloria was still in the emergency room, the strangest symptoms manifested themselves. First of all, the woman had a strange oil spread around her chest. There was a heavy aroma of garlic coming from the woman's mouth, and once the doctors took a blood sample, they noticed small yellowish crystals floating in her blood. At this time, there was no explanation. But there was a life on the line, so these concerns were put aside. That is, until the nurse handling the blood syringe passes out. And then another, and then another nurse. In the span of just a few minutes, 3 people fighting for Gloria's life pass out on the floor. Mind you, these are all experienced medical professionals used to emergency operations and the sight and the stress those might bring along. What's even more intriguing is that the rest of the emergency room said they all felt sick and nauseous. The head doctor suspected a gas leak inside of the building, so the hospital was evacuated with all the patients carried out. Only the essential people required to look after Gloria remaining in the room. But despite their best efforts, as we've told you at the start, 45 minutes after first arriving, Gloria's heart fails and unfortunately she dies. Overall, 23 people reported feeling sick after exposure to Gloria and 5 remained hospitalized. However, there were still no answers as to what happened exactly. In the days that followed, everyone started pointing fingers and rumors began to spread like wildfire. Every possible theory under the sun was brought to light, from the supernatural, like Gloria being abducted by aliens, cursed, or a victim of some sort of sinister experiment, to the hospital exposing Gloria and the doctors to a deadly chemical. But in all of this noise, one theory proved to be far more likely than the rest. An expert of the Livermore National Library proposed that Gloria had been using a chemical known as DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, a common cure-all popular at the time. Even though it had been banned from use for like 20 years because it caused severe eye damage on animals. And yet, there were traces of it found on Gloria during the autopsy. Apparently, the DMSO was still available in a completely different form, since it can be found in substances like oven cleaners and paint removers and available in any paint store. A presence of it would then explain the strange substance found on Gloria's skin and the garlic smell from her mouth. And even the blood crystals lined up with this theory. But, okay, that still leaves the mystery of why 3 people lost consciousness and why another 20 fell extremely sick. Well, to that, there's one more chemical reaction possible. In a very unfortunate coincidence, electrical charges used by the doctors to restart Gloria's heart could have turned and bear with me here, DMSO2 into DMSO4, dimethyl sulfate. And that, Night Fam, is an experimental type of nerve gas. Yes, a seemingly safe and regular procedure of using a defibrillator exposed the hospital staff to nerve gas, a type of chemical weapon commonly used in World War I. This would kill a person within an hour of being exposed. So in essence, that emergency room became a type of a gas chamber. The staff were even lucky to get away alive at all. And to speculate on the final mystery, why would Gloria even use DMSO at all? Well, DMSO was known to allegedly help with curing cancer, something Gloria was diagnosed with. But however convincing the experts' theory is, Gloria's family is adamant about one thing. She never used anything even close to DMSO. Instead, their whole blame is on the hospital itself. Because 6 weeks after Gloria's death, her family conducted a private autopsy and found some rather strange details. First of all, many of her inner organs were damaged, even smeared in fecal matter, which was strange on its own. But by far the strangest thing they found was that Gloria's heart was allegedly missing. Fully removed, gone. To this day, the exact details surrounding Gloria's death are still debated, and no final solution was ever brought out. But if indeed it were true that DMSO was the root of this problem, if DMSO, a chemical used in many common and readily available products, could cause this violent reaction, then we should all stay vigilant. Because in this world where people are still quick to believe dangerous cure-alls and word-of-mouth solutions, it pays to realize that maybe we still don't have as firm an understanding of our bodies as we think we do.